How did Soviet constitutions allow mass purges? Imagine living in a country where the law promises you rights but secretly gives the government the power to ignore them completely. That's what happened in the Soviet Union. The Soviet constitutions, especially the one from 1936, seemed to guarantee freedoms like speech, assembly, and even protection from arbitrary arrest. But in reality, these rights were mostly on paper. The government used the constitutions to justify actions that went far beyond what they promised. The key was the way the constitutions placed the Communist Party at the top of the power structure. They declared the party as the vanguard of the working class and the main force guiding the country. This meant that the party's decisions and interests always came before individual rights. If the party saw someone as a threat or an enemy of socialism, they could act without worrying about legal protections. The constitutions made it clear that the state's goal was to defend socialism, even if that meant violating basic rights. Another important point is how the legal system was set up to support extraordinary measures. The constitutions allowed the use of special courts and secret police agencies like the NKVD. These bodies could arrest, try, and punish people quickly, often without the usual legal safeguards. The courts were not independent. They followed the directives of the party and the state. This legal framework made it easy to carry out mass arrests and executions, especially during the Purges. The language used in the constitutions and party policies was very vague about who could be considered enemies. Terms like enemies of the people, counter-revolutionaries, and class enemies were broad and flexible. This vagueness meant authorities could label almost anyone as a threat. People could be accused based on flimsy or fabricated evidence, and the law would still support their detention or execution. This created a climate where fear and suspicion thrived. The party also kept tight control over its members through strict discipline and purge mechanisms. If a party member was suspected of disloyalty or disagreement, they could be expelled and turned over to the authorities for punishment. The Constitution's emphasis on unity and discipline made purges seem necessary to maintain order and protect the revolution. The leadership justified mass purges as a way to eliminate enemies and protect the socialist project. Public show trials were another tool used within this legal framework. These trials were staged to make the purges appear justified and to intimidate others. Defendants were often forced to confess under torture or threats, and the courts convicted them based on false evidence. The Constitution's framework allowed these trials to happen openly, making the purges seem like legal and necessary steps to safeguard socialism. From the perspective of the Soviet leadership, these constitutions reflected the belief that the revolution needed to be protected at all costs. The rights of individuals could be sacrificed if they threatened the collective good. The broad powers granted by the constitutions made it possible to carry out mass purges without legal or moral restraint. They saw these actions as part of the struggle to build a true communist society, where enemies had to be removed swiftly and decisively. In the end, the Soviet constitutions created a legal environment that justified mass purges by emphasizing the supremacy of the Communist Party, allowing special courts, and defining enemies in broad terms. These features made it possible for the leadership to carry out large-scale repression while maintaining the appearance of legality. The laws were used as tools to protect the state from internal threats, even if that meant violating the rights of countless innocent people.